a good thing we could touch on. That went really well. But you wanted to also go over the treasurer report or whatever. So first things first, thanks for all being here. Nate, I'll let you touch on the whole Saturday thing because I think you got more information from Bernie. But as far as anything I got going on, if anybody's available next month on the 11th, the Fox Cities Amateur Radio Club is doing their soul burner event. I don't know how many people they need, but they usually need people. So everything else is really in Nate's ball, Skywarn related, because that's the time of year we're in. So I'll let Nate take the floor for now, and then if I think of anything else, I'll add it in towards the end.
Okay. Is there a way that I can share my screen by chance?
You should hit the three dots at the bottom and hit share.
3 dots at the bottom?
Right next to the hang up
button.
Oh,
right there.
And click share.
And then you should be able to click share screen.
Doesn't share screen. Whoops.
If you don't see that, depending on what you're looking at, it might be on the toolbar across the bottom. Mine's in the center, has its own button. It looks like a little square with an arrow in it. It says present now.
There we go.
Yeah, that's what I want. Okay, can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There it is.
Okay, so that's tomorrow's outlook, just so everybody knows. So there's some big stuff down south going on. In fact, not much hail, a lot of wind, and a really big tornado threat tomorrow. So for those of you who are interested in that kind of stuff, watch tomorrow. It's going to be pretty interesting today. There's a few things going on, but nothing super major. But tomorrow definitely looks to be the day. At least the biggest one we've had in a couple of weeks. We had the one a couple of weeks ago up in this area up here. But this one tomorrow actually looks a little more favorable for tornado weather than the last one. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But anyways, I think that's all I got for that. So let's see. Get rid of that. Go back over to this. Okay, there we go. All right. So all right, I'll go over to treasurer's report real quick. So we'll start with this. We'll start back the November meeting. We had a balance of $5,617. The founder of that group cashed their $100 check, and then 2308 was requested to be reimbursed for oil in the generator. Chad, that was approved. So that was at the November meeting, which is here in the binder, if you can all see that. So then that brings us to, and that meeting was on November 14th. So on November 29th, $100 cash was deposited to our account, and that is Brian's payback for his REACT dues. The team voted to pay for mine and Dick's dues to keep the nonprofit. Brian wanted himself and his kids to be REACT members, so he paid for his own dues for him and his kids. So we deposited $100 into the account on November 29th for his payback, and that receipt for that is right here. And then this is the sheet. So there was 3 regular members, so me and Brian, one of his kids, an additional kid. So his total with all that came to $100. So actually it was like 98, but I charged him $2 processing fee. So that's that. Okay, so that's that. So that was on November 29th. And then on 12/4, Chad cashed or I wrote him a check, I wrote him a check for the generator oil, and he cashed it on 12/4 of last year. for 2308 per the minutes from November. And then on 12/12, React International cashed the check for the insurance for Dick and myself, and then obviously all of Brian's stuff. But so that check was for $200. So, and you got to remember out of that, so you're probably sitting here going, well, why is it so much? Well, Dick and I, each of us is $30, so that was 60. Each of us had a $10 premium, so that's 80, and then there's a $20 administrative fee. So that's where the $100 for Dick and I came from, and then the $100 for Brian and all his kids was the other 100. So the total was $200. So that $200 check was cashed on, again, 12/12. So then that brought us to $5,494.03. So that is pretty much the end of it for that. Now, as we discussed at the January meeting, we changed our account from, I don't know if you guys can see this, but it says CMS Counties React Team 6116 on the top line, like right there. Okay, that was what the old checking account was under. To represent the stuff that we now do, because we don't, CMS Counties React, for those of you around, which was none of you, CMS County standard for Calumet, Manitowoc, and Sheboygan, because that's what we used to do a lot of our stuff in, all three counties. That was the old name of the group. We wanted to change it to more reflect the emergency services side of what we're doing in our new team that we started in January. So on December 13th of last year, I went to the bank. I closed out the React account, the CMS County's React account. I opened the Calumet County Emergency Services React account because it still had to have the word React in it. And in order to get the new bank account, I had to get the new React charter from International, finally, with its fancy little seal down here. So I went and did that. Got that all squared away. So what they did is they closed out the old account, and then as you see on the new statement, which is dated 12/13, it's now listed as Calumet County Emergency Services React. Which I got to go to the bank now because it says new hosting. That's not right. But anyways, so we took the 5,000, what did I say? $5,494. And then, yeah, we switched that. We opened the account with $5,494 and, well, whatever, 3 cents. So that's what we did there. And then the first payment to come out of the new account on the 19th, which was a couple days later, was for the new checks. So we had to get new checks printed to reflect the new team name because they wouldn't honor the old ones, brand new account number, and all that. So then we were down to, because we paid $20 for checks, we were down to $5,494 as of December 31st. So that's the end of 2023. So now that brings us, that gets filed there. So now that brings us into the new year. So January, we had nothing. From 1/1 of 24 to 1/31 of 24, we didn't do anything. From February 1st to February 29th, we had 2 checks written. One was for $571.21. That was for all of our vests and shirts for emergency services. That check was written to Brian because he put it all on his credit card. And I have the invoice. I think he emailed it to me. I forgot to print it off. And then that was check 601. Check 602 was written in the amount of $192. that was to get all of the shirts and vests screen printed on the back. And the invoice from May Riley's in New Holstein is right here for $192 for screen printing. And she actually only charged us $8 a piece. She was telling us she was going to charge us $12, so we lucked out. But because we're like public safety and she's a first responder, she gave us that discount. So we really appreciate that. So then at the end of at the end of February, we were down to $4,701.07. And then in March, let's see, what do we do in March? Chad paid me for his shirts and vests. I deposited his $32. And then this is my fault. They charged us a $4 service fee because I forgot to sign up for e-statements. So I did it today. I owe the team $4. That was my bad. So at the end of March, our balance was $4,729.07. Since that has happened, because I don't have a statement for April, on April 8th, I deposited $226 in cash, which was all the money from everybody else that handed Brian money. That was deposited yesterday morning for $226. So that brings our current total as of today to $4,955.07 in our account. And you can add $4 to that. I'll get that deposited this week because that was my screw up. But now we have electronic banking, so we wanted to pay that fee now. So that's where we're at with that. Any questions, comments, concerns? Again, everything regarding our money is 100% open to inspection by anybody at any time. There's nothing for me to hide. So, like I said, all the statements for 2023 are in this envelope. The statements for 2024 have their own envelope. And again, going all the way back to 2017. So if anybody's got any questions, you're more than welcome to ask. I got all the paperwork to prove it. After the snafu last year, I'm making sure everything's in order. All right. So that's all I got for financial. Anybody got anything? No? I gotta find a place to put that. Okay. So, and then obviously, when we have our meeting in May, I'll have the April statement or the April statement. And so on and so forth. So, and we'll just keep doing that every time we have a meeting or a training. Because there was such a big gap between November and now that normally doesn't happen. We normally don't have that big of a gap. But now, like, we're going to have trainings or meetings or whatever pretty much every month through the rest of the year. So I'll be bringing this along to every just keep that shits and giggles. Same thing with meeting minutes. These are all the meeting minutes, all the way back to January 11th of 2016. So if anybody's ever got a question of, oh, hey, did we vote on that or whatever, it's I'll say 95% of it is in this binder. There are some missing. There are some that were video recorded when Gene was here, and I never got the recording, but it won't allow me to access it anymore. So there are a couple missing, but the majority of everything is in this binder as well. I think that's all I got. I don't think I have any paperwork for everybody. Everybody should have gotten what I needed to give you on Saturday. I think that's it. Where's my other? I just had my other binder here. Where the hell did it go? Stand by. Oh, okay. Well, I guess not. If I find it, I'll let you know. But I don't think I have anything else for everybody. Yeah, I don't know where the hell it went. I just had it earlier. All right, that's all I got. So if you're interested in severe weather, watch it tomorrow. Financial report was right there. That's all I got. I guess I'll turn it back over to Kyle while I look for that binder.
Where are we at with everybody in their Skywarn training? Has anybody turned anything in yet, or is
Oh, yeah,
that
I can pull
everybody
that
still
up.
needing to
Stand
get
by.
theirs done?
Yeah, I can pull that up now that I know how to share my screen instead of putting closed
Oh, okay.
captions. I can listen.
I got mine right after this, actually, the first one.
Training record. Come on. There we go. All right. Ooh. All right. Present now. Oh, that's not gonna do it. Window. Entire screen. Oh, I don't want that. Hang on. Stand by. I'm still trying to figure out how to work this fancy stuff. Let's see. Let's do entire screen. No, that's not it. Window. Well, how do I do that then? Can you guys see that or no?
No.
Nothing yet.
Entire screen? Well, now it won't let me share it. Site will be able to see entire screen. Oh, there we go. I had to click the whatchamacallit. Okay, now can you see it?
It's loading. There it is.
Would say
Yep.
Calumet County Storm Spotter training record.
Yep, I see
I
it.
see it.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Okay, now you can see it. Okay. So go down, find your name, and see if it's correct. If there's something different or something wrong, let me know. Right now, I got myself doing the class tomorrow. Francis went to Reedsville. Dick did his last year online. Randy went to Reedsville. HYC Justin, he's due this year. Mike, you're due this year. BFO Justin did his last year. Kyle's due this year. Parker's due this year. Rick and Rick, I think, are good. I got to double check with the other one. And then Chad just did his in March. Does that look correct to everybody?
Yep.
Yep.
Yes.
Well, hopefully everybody signed up to get it done before the 5th of May, because I think that was the deadline.
Day of, well, because that's the last online course, is the day of the night of our G557 class. So yeah, either do it online through the National Weather Service website. You know, they're one of their virtual things. Stop sharing. You can do it that way, or you can do it. Let me just go in here quick. Spotter schedule. Okay, there you go. Okay, you should be able to see my screen again. So this is the National Weather Service Storm Spotter page. Basically, what you can do is you click on one of these links here, and it's online, so it's on your computer. So, for instance, I signed up for the one tomorrow from noon to 1. Kyle signed up for the one down here on May 4th. I'm not going to tell you have to take the standard one, but it wouldn't hurt. And then take the advanced one, or take them backwards. I don't really care. I just need something at this point. Yeah. So that's where we're at. Bonus regional Skywarn talk number 3, hosted by National Weather Service Indianapolis. That one might be interesting. That's new. Okay. I'll have to do some research on that and get back to you guys because that was not on
All
there.
right.
Yeah. All right.
What about the Skywarn drill on the 20th? I know you said there might be a possibility that you might not be there. Do we want to possibly reschedule that, or how do you want to handle that?
Yeah, I guess that's up to you guys. I mean, I forgot I was scheduled to help my dad that day, and my dad doesn't ask for much help. So that was the only free weekend I really had this month. If it rains, we're not going to work. If it's 30 degrees, we're not going to work. And actually, anything probably below 50. So it's all dependent. The drill on the 20th is going to be from home, similar to what we did last year and the year before, where we kind of just called in fake reports. Somebody was net control. I'm fully confident that you guys can do it yourselves without me.
Okay.
But seeing as how I'm technically still a Skyline coordinator, I should probably be there.
Okay.
I guess it's up to you. What do you think, Kyle? Do you want to reschedule it? Do you want to just go through with it, hope that I'm there, and if I'm not, you guys will survive?
I mean, we can. I'm sure we could. I guess let's play it by ear. We'll wait until we get closer to the date because
Okay.
who knows what's going to happen. I'd hate to cancel it, and then it's actually a day that everybody's around to do it. And
Well, and that's the thing.
so,
I mean, we're all busy enough as it is, and I just don't want to inconvenience.
and it's not a mandatory thing.
No,
So if
it's
people
not.
don't show up for it, then they don't show up for it. So I guess we'll just keep it and we'll figure something out. I'll come up with some scenarios or something
Well,
like
right
that.
now I'm looking at 49 and rain on the 20th, so that might
Okay.
mean that I'm going to be around.
Right.
Yeah. So, like I said, it's nothing major. It's not required. It's just something to get everybody kind of refreshed. There is talk of this being a very busy season.
Yep.
A lot of the experts are saying we had such a mild winter that it's what we normally see in the upper Midwest in like May, June, or June, July, August, May, June, July. We're going to see in April, May, and June. So maybe an early start to the season up here. As I just showed you, it's been a rough spring down south. Way more than what we would consider normal. So yeah, it wouldn't hurt to hop on the radio for an hour or two on that Saturday morning. I got my base station here, so if I am available, I can do it out of the house here. And we'll just have some guys call in some reports. I'll send out something the week before.
Okay.
So what is that? Is that next week already? Is the week before? Let me take a look here. Oh yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So next week, sometime middle of the week, I'll send something out, and I'll shoot out a text in the group thing. You guys can just look it over. You guys have been doing this long enough. I'm sure you can come up with some fake reports. Just try to leave the flying cows out of it if you can. Like that's
Nah. All right. So that takes care of that.
So that's that. Then we move on to what's the next one, Kyle? May 4th then?
Yep, the rapid needs assessment.
Okay, so the rapid needs
Everybody
assessment
signed up for it.
I just got a quick little thing on that. So I talked to Bernie on Saturday after you guys all left. I asked him if he needed me to hold the door open for everybody. He goes, "Oh no, they unlock at 7:30." I'm like, "Not on a Saturday." He's like, "Fuck." I'm like, "Okay." I says, "Well, what about lunch?" So there was a lot of F-bombs dropped. He hasn't even started planning for it. But he did tell me, because the class is supposed to be 8 hours long, he thinks he can get through the material in 6 hours or less. We have some people coming from other places. There's all of us, obviously. There's some in-county people, but there's also some people that are working on their CEM, which is what I have. So they're coming from all over the state. So we got to do what we need to do to give them the content that they need, but at the same time, there's some flexibility in that. So then I was asking Bernie about lunch, and he's like, man, I got to order pizzas and all this. Then he turned to change his mind. He said, maybe I'll just do a bunch of snacky stuff, and we'll just kind of, instead of taking an hour lunch, we'll take a 15-minute lunch. We can snack and get out of there at 2:00 instead of 4:00. So I don't have specifics yet. But we're going to try to get everybody out of there early. I already took the class, so I don't really need to take it. I'm going to be there more to help anybody else if they need help. If you guys need help specifically, if you're not understanding something. But it's pretty laid back as far as dress goes. I would say business casual. Jeans are doable. Try to make it a nice pair of jeans. I don't want to see Daisy Dukes. And
Hell no.
nice pair of jeans and a polo, I think, would be acceptable. Remember, there are these people in this room are professionals. Some of them are other emergency managers. So we want to present ourselves well as well. Obviously, I don't expect a suit and a tie or anything even like that. But like every day I wear khakis and a polo. That's more than good enough for this class. We want you to be comfortable, but yet, somewhat professional. I would bring a notebook, like a legal pad or a notebook of some sort, some pens. I got to touch base with Bernie. He might be sending everybody the PowerPoint too. So if you have a laptop, I would say bring it along. I don't know if you're going to need it or not. Some classes I took, I needed it because the screen was about that big in the front of the room. Whereas in Bernie's, it's a nice, there's 3 screens. So, and you're close. Some of these rooms, I'm like way in the back, like, hello. So just kind of give you an idea of how it works. And then you go around the room in the beginning and they'll ask you who you are and why you're there and all that. So that's the deal with the May 7th. Like I said, as soon as I get more info from Bernie and he figures it out, I'll let you guys know. But he was pretty flustered on Saturday when I was talking to him about it.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll try to wrap this up because I know Chad said he's got to get going here pretty soon.
Okay.
May 14th is our next meeting, but I think that's a joint meeting, so that'll be at the EOC.
Yes.
May 15th, we have that ECCOM exercise that's out at Sunnyview Expo Center. I'm going to pick up the trailer and take that down there. I believe I sent the email out to everybody. If you didn't get it, let me know and I can send that out.
Kyle, is there anything that event would help us with for the Oxcom stuff?
I'm not sure. I know it'll build connections with other people in our district. And I believe one of the guys that can sign off on our books is going to be there as well. So maybe we could talk to him at that point to say, hey, what do we need to do this? Is there anything we should do? We should be looking for stuff like that. So I'll try to find out who that person is. I'll get a hold of Carl Young and ask him. I know his wife, she knows who the person is. So,
okay.
It
would be good rather than have a bunch of people try to contact them individually.
Right, exactly. And then I don't know what day it's on. I don't know why I didn't write it down here on my piece of paper, but we've got the DOD Mars HF exercise. I believe that's on the same day as the Soul Burner, so that would be May 11th. So if anybody wants to participate in that, I got a little bit of a response via the text message. It'd be cool to set the trailer up somewhere, get the HF rig online, and see how well it works. That way we know for this upcoming season. But yeah, I think that's it as far as things that I got going on. So anybody got anything? Any questions?
Just a reminder, if you got anything new for emergency services on your levels, let me know. I'll get you checked off. I have no time training courses anywhere near here. I think the closest one is Stevens Point.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't worry about that for a while. I think that's all I got. at that May meeting, just make sure you think about what hours and days you want to work for the picnic, because we're going to be making up our schedule, because that's got to be submitted to the PD in New Holstein by June 1st. So when you come to that May meeting, figure out what you want to do. You want to do Friday night, Saturday night, Friday night, Sunday, whatever. So we're not sitting there all night trying to figure it out. Kind of come with something in your head ahead of time. So,
Randy, do you want to quick go into what you did today, or do you think it's not that important?
Well, it was pretty simplistic. I checked in at the hospital. I set up a 22-foot mast with a 5.5 dBA gain antenna and just used my Go box. And I could contact the Calumet repeater and the Waupaca repeater. The only hospital that I could hear on Simplex was the Theta Care in Appleton. So if we ever got into that situation, it would have to be a relay through them. That's basically it.
Okay.
I'll remind
All right.
Stan. I'll remind Stan in my assessment that we need to know about funding to replace the coax at that hospital.
I got emails out to him, and I believe the last thing he said is we need to find out what a cost would be for us to replace all that equipment. Brian said that he'd be willing to donate the equipment, but Stan seems to be against that because he doesn't want any of us putting our personally owned equipment out there. He'd rather the hospital pay for it because that's who originally got the grant. So I'm waiting to figure out what the next step is on that. I mean, I told him everything just needs to be replaced. With what Brian told me, the water coming out of everything, it's probably all junk. And if we continue to use it,
it's all junk.
So
all the line in the antenna is junk.
Yeah, but the radio on the power supply probably is good yet, isn't it?
I don't remember. What did they say when they tested
I think
that?
the radio to power supply is fine. He said that he needs a guesstimate on the length of coax, the make and model of the lightning arrestor, and what antenna we would recommend putting up there. We need to get a list of and costs together. And he said, I will be seeing the staff at the HERC meeting next week, which this was back in March, and can let them know I will discuss the tower climbing issue. However, I doubt they will let someone up there who is not bonded and insured, because Brian's stipulation also with donating his stuff is he needed to be the one to install it all. And I'm just like, I don't think that's going to fly. So I will talk to Brian. Go ahead, Dick.
Yeah, I put that antenna up originally. That's actually a homemade antenna bracket I made. That was with the old ARES group. That's how long that's been up there.
Yeah, they estimated it went up in sometime 2007, 2008, maybe even sooner than that. So,
yeah.
And Brian said it looked like the antenna was cracked about halfway up. So that's even worse. So there might be damage to the radio. We won't know until we get the equipment up there and see how well it works. So I'll talk with Brian and see if he can get me a list together, maybe from Amel, or if anybody else has any leads on getting that type of equipment. Otherwise, I'll just go to HRO and look at their pricing, and Dan can do what he wants with the information. I just need to know about how long the coax is and what the make and model of the lightning arrestor is. I would think that for $200-300 we'd be able to replace everything out there, the coax, the arrestor, and the antenna. I would think for less than $300.
I would give it 100 feet of coax to be safe.
Yeah, I bet you it's a lot less than that. Brian said he thought it was only 30 foot, and then right.
Well, what are we up? 50 feet up the tower? 75 feet? No, 50 feet. I think up the tower. 50 or 40.
Brian, I think Brian said it was 30.
Okay. I thought it was closer to 50, but regardless, you come down, you got to go into the building, up into the ceiling, down, back. I would just do 100. If we cut it shorter, we cut it shorter, but I want to be getting there with 75, and then you're like, oh,
Okay.
I mean, if
then nobody else.
Yeah, you're gonna need to know. You're gonna need to know a cost for the climber too. If they're not gonna.
He said that he would figure that out. He said that he would figure that out.
Okay.
So maybe somebody from the hospital will be willing to go up there and turn a wrench to tighten a couple nuts and bolts and put some tape on some coax. I mean, it's not rocket science, but
Well, they're going to have to remount a whole new antenna, it sounds like. So,
yeah, but I don't know.
well, right. But to take one down and put a new one up, that's what, 4 bolts to tighten down in a mount and slide the antenna into it.
yeah, you haven't worked with
Holy
hospitals before, have you?
Mhm. Well, and I'm wondering if we're going to put something in there, do we want to go with like better coax to make it longer lasting? Get it commercial.
Well, I'm looking at
antenna
half-inch hard line.
Okay.
I'm looking at half-inch hard line, and 100 feet of it's roughly about $450.
Yeah.
45 cents or $4.50 a foot.
Yeah.
But
Well,
that'll last 20 years.
I'm just wondering if they're still going to okay that bracket, because I made a bracket out of stainless, and that was just a homemade bracket. I don't know if that's going to even be acceptable anymore. Like you said, we did that 20 years ago.
Right. Probably not.
Yeah.
So,
Whatever
we'll
you
figure
need
it
to mount
out.
the antenna is probably going to have to all come with it.
Yeah.
I can also call Chester's in Kenosha and find out what they'll charge me for coax, because I get a pretty good in there. God knows I've spent enough money at that place.
You got
All right, well,
you got your own mug or what?
I actually have an account with them where they'll just send it to me and I pay for it after 90 days. So, all right. Well, if nobody's got anything else, thanks for showing up. I think this was a lot easier than everybody having to drive to the sheriff's department when all we had to talk about was just basic shit. So, I think moving forward, all of our ARES meetings that are just, ARES, we're just going to do them virtual, because I know my wife's happy I didn't have to drive all the way out there.
Yeah, this is easier for me too.
Oh,
Definitely
yeah.
take it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, everybody have a good rest of your week. And Chad, I think you're doing the EOC class this weekend. I'll see you down there.
Yep.
All right. Everybody have a good one.
Thanks, you too.
You too.
Yep, bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.